The blizzard was almost on us when Chase dumped me at the bus shelter, took my pre-marriage, and spun back to drive his 5 months pregnant subordinate home. I clutched my phone. Ice traveled from my fingertips to every vein. But the forecast says blizzard, so you know there's a blizzard. Face pregnant, what if something happens? You're a grown woman, can't you take care of yourself? He slammed the door, impatience and disgust filling the cabin. I gripped the handle, afraid to let go. I felt off all day. Since morning I'd been dizzy and vomiting. I'd wanted to go to Riverdale for a checkup, but I'd let it go. We were saving for a baby with Chase. Now he was abandoning me at a bus shelter. If you feel sick, go to Riverdale. I'm not a doctor, talking to me is useless. He paused. You're healthy, why be jealous of a pregnant woman? I inhaled, forcing the tears back. Chase, I'm asking you one last time. You're really going to pick her and leave me? Get lost. Chase fired the engine without a glance. The car roared away. Snowflakes started to fall. My tears finally broke free. Wind and snow thickened. I tucked my thin coat tighter and shivered under the shelter sign. I dragged myself onto the last city bus. It was packed, the air stale with every kind of odor. I clung to the strap, my stomach churning. A sudden jolt pitched me forward. I crashed to the floor. Passengers cried out, but I felt no impact, only a ripping agony in my abdomen. Sound blurred. A hum was all that remained. When I woke, I lay in a white room that smelled of disinfectant. A nurse approached, voice flat. You're pregnant, the baby. It's unlikely to hold. Forcing it could endanger you. Do you want to try? Pregnant? A baby? My mind went blank. I was pregnant, but was there any point? Staring at the snow outside the window, colder than I'd ever felt, I asked Riverdale to call my family. I wanted Chase to come, but when I dialed, all I got was his irritated refusal. Numb, I opened Instagram. Faye's newest post glittered on my feed. So grateful Chase guards me and my baby like a knight every single day. Even in a blizzard, he gets me home safe. A chicken soup selfie and her glowing bump sat beneath the caption. In the comment thread, Chase had even double-tapped. That little red heart struck me as obscene. While my husband ferried another pregnant woman through a snowstorm in my pre-marriage, I'd nearly lost our own child on a city bus. Rage clawed up my chest, scorching everything in its path. I typed under her post, "Wish you to forever, picking up the divorce petition tomorrow." Those words drained the last of my strength. I was friendly with plenty of Chase's colleagues. The department would see it. Sure enough, Xiaomei DM'd me. Girl, don't misunderstand, Chase was only giving her a ride. I didn't answer. They had no idea that when I needed him most, he'd chosen her and her baby. In that instant, my heart flat dash lined up. This child had no future either. I signaled the nurse and smiled bitterly. No preservation. Schedule the D&C. I drifted home through powder that had already frosted my hair. At the bed, I dragged the thick duvet over me and curled up, hunting for warmth. Suddenly, the door crashed open. Chase loomed, tie askew, face storm dark. What the hell was that comment? You humiliated me in front of my team. He yanked his tie, seething. I lay wrapped in the quilt, motionless, staring at a stranger. He raised his voice. It's just carpooling. Everyone at Sterling Tech knows Faye's pregnant. Special circumstances, special treatment. Can't you be bigger than this? All this fuss over nothing. Every sentence knife deeper. For 3 years he'd been gentle, indulgent. Now he called me petty for another woman. Cold rose from my soles to my heart. My nails bit my palms. I breathed once, steadying the tempest inside. Bigger? Chase, it's snowing. I asked for a lift home. Is that so hard? I'm your wife. How many times do I have to say it? Colleagues helping colleagues. Belle, you never used to be like this. But I'm pregnant too, I said, white-faced. Stomach heaving. Chase stood in the doorway, arms folded, impatience carved into his face. Now what? More damsel in distress theatrics. I lifted my head and stared at him, ice in every word. Theatrics? Chase, you honestly think I'd bother with games? I'm telling you, while you were driving another woman home, our baby died. He blinked once, then snorted. Quit the act. Because I wouldn't play chauffeur, you invent a miscarriage. What baby? Since when were you even pregnant? Even if you really were, he went on, voice flat as frost. A decent woman would show face some consideration. She's 5 months along. How can you be so heartless? Every syllable was a blade, nothing warm, only accusation. I couldn't hold the tears back any longer. They ran burning down my cheeks. So this is who I am in his mind, a jealous liar willing to weaponize an unborn child for attention. Faye just told me she's afraid you're upset, he said. She's ready to come over and apologize. Look how reasonable she is. Then there's you, hysterical over nothing. My face felt carved from stone. I said nothing. Suddenly my phone rang, shattering the hush. The screen lit up with Faye, and I could already picture her fake concern pout. Chase answered before it could finish a full chime. Her sugary voice spilled out, Chase, is Belle okay? I heard she's furious. Don't take it to heart, she's just anxious. Deep down she still loves you so much. From 3 feet away I could smell the manipulation. Stop defending her. Chase crooned. I've spoiled her rotten, throwing tantrums over every little thing. Forget it, go to bed. You need rest, for the baby's sake. He ended the call with a soft click, then turned to me, irritation rebooted. Asleep in the study. Take the night to reflect. I shut my eyes, dragged in the frozen air. Chase, I said, reopening them, I want a divorce. He froze, as if I'd spoken in a foreign tongue, then laughed under his breath. Divorce? Are you kidding? My patience has limits. Don't push it. It's past caring. Divorce. My voice stayed calm. Each word a spike hammered into him. I told only Vivian about the D&C. When I called, her voice crackled with fury and heartbreak. Belle, you sweet idiot. You walked away from that promotion so Chase could climb. Now a single VP stripe goes to his head and he's nailing his pregnant report. I closed my eyes and let her rage wash over me, the first comfort I'd felt in days. Yes, stupid barely covered it. I hadn't just surrendered my career track. I'd handed him my entire trust fund assets to bankroll his rise. And this was my payoff. Don't worry, Vivian said. I'm in internal audit. I'll be watching. One whiff of shady numbers and I'll gut the bastard. Thanks, I whispered and hung up. Outside, new snow had smothered Riverdale, the cold absolute. I took a week's leave to breathe. I opened the front door. Freezing air rushed in. The house was empty. Chase had slipped out at dawn, never once checking on me. After every previous fight, no matter who'd started it, he'd plant a fridge magnet note, a goofy apology, a private joke, something warm. Today the door of the Sub-Zero stared back blank like him. Even an early-term loss can wreck you, the doctor warned. Skip the proper rest and you'll pay for yours. I swallowed the ache and moved through the lobby like a robot. Cue, check-in, wait. Then a bubbled exchange drifted over. Chase, look, this onesie is adorable. We have to buy it for the peanut. Whatever you want. Doctor says the baby measures big, maybe a boy. If it's lucky, it'll look just like you, boy or girl. Mom and Dad said they'll fly in to help once I deliver. The woman laughed, bliss spilling over. I tracked that familiar baritone, lifted my head, and there he was, Chase. Arms snug around Faye, face lit with the tenderness I once thought was mine alone. What did that make me? While his parents planned a layette, I bled alone. He spotted me. The smile snapped off like a light switch, replaced by a flash of guilt quickly buried. Why are you here? You really were pregnant? His voice came out strangled. I crushed the ultrasound report in my fist, nail slicing crescents into my palm, pain irrelevant beside the demolition inside my chest. Does it matter now? I turned to Faye. Congratulations, future mom. Thanks, Belle, she answered, forcing innocence. I felt off this morning, so Chase insisted on bringing me for an ab checkup. Don't read into it. A dry laugh escaped me. Read into what? My husband playing expectant father for another woman. Maybe my stare was too arctic. Chase sensed the approaching storm and stepped forward, frown in place. Belle, what's with the face? Thought you'd done some soul searching by now. What face? I let the smirk come, flames banked behind it. Tell me, Chase, do you think I'm blind? You ferry her home. Now you're her +1 at prenatal visits. Should I applaud? Faye shrank behind him, hand over her belly. Chase, you're scaring us. The baby, Faye, don't worry. I've got this. He stroked her arm, eyes whipping back to me, contempt in neon. Enough. Are you stalking me? Want proof her kid is mine? Fine it is. At the front of the wedding hall, the MC, his hair slicked into a high pompadour, boomed with infectious energy. Everyone celebrating with Liam and Aria today. Whip out your phones. Open WhatsApp. Hit the plus in the corner, choose join group, then type 1314. This surprise is courtesy of our bride, Ms. Sterling. To thank every friend and relative who traveled here, please hop into the group of Venmo cash drops all night, fun non-stop. One by one, the 40+ tables of guests trickled into the WhatsApp group. But after barely a minute, the lively hall quieted in eerie waves. The groom, who had been beaming while firing off 3 red envelope drops beside the days, now stared at his screen, his grin froze and his face drained to chalk. Scattered murmurs fluttered up. Holy crap, this is wild. Dude, there's even a nude selfie. Grooms got game. The place detonated like a sudden clap of thunder. My fiancé, Liam, was cheating. I had never imagined infidelity would happen to me. We started dating in college. The relationship had always felt solid. He was 1 year ahead of me, and now that both our careers were stable, we'd reached the marriage shock stage. The first hint of betrayal surfaced one midnight when he forgot to delete a chat with his best buddy. Tonight he'd come home after 2 a.m. Again, I couldn't hold it in. You know I've been horribly sick these 2 days. Couldn't you come back earlier? I've had period cramps before, but this time a fist of ice seemed to yank my uterus downward. I writhed on the bed, drenching the pillow in cold sweat, puking and running a 102-degree fever. After lying in bed all day, I finally regained a sliver of strength near midnight. He resorted to his usual script. I'm grinding this hard for our future. The project is at a critical stage. If your dad could put in a word, I'd leap to the next tier. I snapped. I know exactly how big your company's projects are. Are you seriously that busy? I saw Derek's post you to were at Ironworks today. I was too weak to even reach the hospital, yet after work you hit the gym instead of coming home. Are you there to pick up chicks? Panic flickered in his eyes, but he forced calm. That selfie was from last time. The jerk posted it only today. I'm exhausted from work. Can't I get peace at home? 5 years together, can't you trust me? If you're worried, here's my phone. Check whatever you want, or call Derek right now. He had to be hiding something. In Derek's gym mirror selfie, Liam's gray tank delivered just yesterday was half visible. He used to wear only black. 6 months ago, he bought a premium gym membership and began lingering at Ironworks, though his body hadn't changed much. Since then, he'd been coming home later, sometimes after midnight. Knowing I never snoop, he dared me to look in even if evidence existed. He'd surely scrubbed it. He didn't realize that the other night, after crashing hard. He'd kept texting Derek until he fell asleep mid-sentence. Derek had sneaked in. "Dude, you really drained," he'd replied with a you-know-it gif. I scrolled. The thread looked good. Its sentences didn't connect, proof he deleted chunks. His twitchy face tonight screamed guilt. I played along. "Fine, let me see whether you were boozing with your bro." I picked up his phone, opened WhatsApp under his nose. The dread in his eyes was unmistakable. Sure enough, the messages and that gif were gone. I had neither proof nor energy to fight. "All right, I believe you. I just fear your buddies are dragging you into their party scene." He exhaled. "Arya, sorry, work's been crazy." And no, I reek after client dinners. Notice I haven't come home tipsy once. Next week I fly to Chengdu. Once this phase is over, things will settle. He really was leaving town, the perfect window to rendezvous with his mistress, Scarlett. While he was away, I borrowed his laptop to look up some files. I rarely touched it. He used it for gaming, and I used to slice fruit or bake mini cookies and set them beside him. In the browser bookmarks, I spotted a Reddit link. Curious, I clicked and discovered his private message chain with another woman. A few lines were enough to rip my heart open. Through tears, I read on and understood everything. No wonder he wasn't afraid of me checking his phone. He'd hidden the affair in Reddit DMs. Their exchange was obscene, filthier than anything I could imagine. He never called her babe or honey. Most of the time he addressed her as mistress. And when he spoke about me to her, the sole term was cheap slut. "Liam, you kinky bastard." The woman's real name, Scarlett. From timestamps, they carried on at least half a year. They met on the city's subreddit, graduated from flirting to physical hookups within days. The gym Liam joined 6 months ago is owned by Scarlett's husband. He didn't sign up to get fit, he signed up so the two of them could screw under the same roof. My whole body shook with rage. The room spun so hard I almost blacked out. At last I understood why. These past months, he touched me so rarely. He'd blamed stress, blamed overtime, when all along he was on his knees licking another woman's feet. No wonder he'd come home late and crash face first into the pillow. Every ounce of energy had already been wrung out of him elsewhere. They must have taken photos or videos because their chat logs were stuffed with vile pictures. One still burns behind my eyelids. Liam kneeling on a carpet, tongue stretched toward Scarlett's raised foot, her red-nailed big toe inches from his mouth. From the messages I learned the only reason he still keeps me around. My father can grease his climb up the corporate ladder. Dad works in a state agency that oversees Liam's division. A quiet word from him can fast-track a promotion. Liam told Scarlett outright, "If that bitch's father couldn't make or break my race, I'd have dumped her ages ago." Now he's with Scarlett not just to feed his twisted kink, but because her family is richer than mine. If he keeps her happy, he can shave 20 years off his struggle. Yet Scarlett herself is married, has a husband and a home. Liam really did fly out on business and seized a chance to meet Scarlett in Chengdu. They even talked about joining a local swingers party while they were there. I photographed every single message on my phone. The next week was the worst of my life. I spent whole days on the same park bench, staring at squirrels and dying inside each time a memory of us surfaced. When Liam flew back, I couldn't face him. He texted, "Why aren't you home?" I didn't answer. After several missed calls, I finally replied. Department assigned me to a training course, classes run late. Days later, steady enough to confront him, I changed my mind. A direct breakup would be letting him off easy. That afternoon, I returned to a rented loft before he got off work and opened the laptop. While I'd been gone, they'd added dozens more pages of chat, and the fresh ugliness turned my spine to ice. Liam wanted to dump me and marry Scarlett. Scarlett kept refusing. She's 10+ years younger than her husband and had married for money. After 3 years and a baby boy, the man was beginning to suspect her medical tests had ruled him out as the problem. She meant to wring every dollar she could before the roof caved in. Scarlett, I'm not against marrying you, but you can't even buy a condo yet. You rent some dump. Our future would be precarious. Liam, I'm in a state-owned enterprise steady paycheck. Once I level up, the side money flows. We'll be fine. Scarlett, then here's your mission. Pull it off and we're together for life. Liam, tell me, Mistress, I'll do anything. Scarlett, marry Arya first. Her parents are lining up a fat dowry. Right, tie the knot. File for divorce 6 months later. And have her assets land in your pocket. Liam didn't push back, he applauded. Baby, you're brilliant. I'll propose ASAP. Divorce her half a year in. Scarlett, plan locked. But what did you just call me? Liam shot back. Mistress, my forever mistress. They were drawing a noose around my dowry. I told him my family would gift us a Riverview condo plus a 30-grand car, both paid in full. The car would be titled to me, the condo to both of us. He intended to marry, freeze me out with Cold Wars and staged fights. Let Dad propel him to a corner office, then transfer to another city where Dad's reach stopped. After that, divorce, half the property, easy $2 million payout. Meanwhile, Scarlett would ditch her hillbilly husband and carve off a slice of his fortune, and the two of them would lounge through life on stolen money. It was a perfect, poisonous scheme. Though the thermostat read 86, I felt refrigerated terror. Then tonight happened, proof that mercy was pointless. Liam came home early, arms full of groceries and a bottle of red, claiming absence had fermented into longing and he would cook me a welcome back feast. I guess the performance would climax in a ring and a proposal. I kept my voice light, only fending off kisses and hugs, curious to see the next act. I curled on the sofa while he shuttled around the galley kitchen, plating dish after dish. Once I'd have jumped in to help, tonight I watched like a juror. At the table he lifted his glass. To you, Arya, welcome home. I thought he'd pop the question once the wine dulled my guard. But he'd planned something simpler. A few sips and my lids turned to lead. Time blurred. Somewhere in the dark I heard voices and a woman's bright laugh. The scene felt familiar. I fought to open my eyes but sank deeper into paralysis, in the nightmare. Liam and a faceless woman hovered over me, naked, cackling, trading obscene jokes while I lay pinned to the mattress. The next time I opened my eyes it was already 11 the following morning. Liam had left for work and the apartment was empty. On WhatsApp he'd left me a voice note. Arya, you must have been exhausted. I couldn't wake you at all. I'm heading to the office, but I picked up soup dumplings from downstairs. Heat them up, okay? I was baffled. How had I slept so heavily? This had happened once before, waking late with only foggy fragments of the night. I opened his laptop to check whether something was wrong. Seconds later, my pupils dilated in shock. I practically jumped out of my skin. Liam had roofied me clearly the second time. Yesterday afternoon, he'd already been downstairs when Scarlett suddenly messaged. Her husband wouldn't be home, so she wanted to come to our rented loft to play. Liam didn't hesitate for a second. Come around 10. Same routine as last time. I still have leftover roofie spiked wine. Scarlett answered. I gave her the roofie spiked wine once last month. A second dose so soon, any risk? Liam replied. First time I overdosed a little. I'll dial it back. She be fine. Scarlett, deal. I'll head over early. Text me as soon as the little tramp is out cold. Liam, no problem, my queen. Can't wait to serve you right in front of the bitch tonight. Reading that, I fell apart. Liam, 5 years together and you're this vile. So last night's blackout was your handiwork. And it's the second round. This month, my cramps were agony. I puked and felt dizzy and assumed it was the flu. Turns out it was courtesy of you. Fine. I'm past fury. 5 years of devotion fed to a rabid dog. Since that's how you play, I'll return the favor in spades. I went to the hospital for a tox screen. Sure enough, they found Xanax-laced residue and GHB. I saved the lab report. I know Scarlett has a family. Her husband has no idea his wife is cuckolding him neon green. I'd already pulled her address from their chat logs. Whenever her husband's away, Liam sneaks to her place. Lately, he's been coming home late because her husband's been out at banquets. Liam slips in after work and leaves before the man returns. It took me 2 days to identify Scarlett's husband. Hunter looks honest, mid-40s, beefy, buzz cut owner of the Ironworks gym chain. I asked him to meet at a coffee shop. Confusion clouded his face the moment he saw me. I cut straight to it. Morgan, your wife is sleeping with my boyfriend. He hadn't expected that opener under the guise of business talk. His jaw dropped. I slid a folder across the table, 20-odd pages of their chat logs plus a couple of photos. His complexion ballooned from pink to scarlet, earlobes twitching with rage. God damn it, I earned the bread. You look pretty. And this is how you look pretty. He kept muttering. When he calmed down, I said, I know this is brutal, but listen to my plan. Hunter's eyes were all fire now. You didn't drag me here just to cry on my shoulder. Lay it out. How do we hit back? I spelled out my scheme. We clicked instantly. He snarled, deal. We'll make those 2 cheaters bleed. There's one more thing, I said. They probably filmed or photographed it. If we locate those files, there'll be ammunition. Hunter exhaled through his teeth. Likely on the leak. I paid $5,000 for my wife's private porn rig. Go home, copy everything, I told him. We're both victims, but keep your cool, no tip-offs. Give me a month and they'll regret the day they were born. Hunter's reason reasserted itself. Fine, I'll add you on WhatsApp. The second I find them, you'll know. Within 48 hours, he messaged, mission accomplished. On the leak's SD card, Scarlett had stored every clip. She'd assumed Hunter was too dense to snoop. Worse, older files showed leading men besides Liam. When we met again, Hunter actually broke down. I bit my tongue so hard to keep from confronting her. He said, tears sliding. He handed me the SD card. Honestly, don't watch unless you have to. It's twisted. We mapped the next moves. I'd engineer Liam's public humiliation and social execution. Hunter would set a trap, ensuring Scarlett walks away penniless and drowning in debt. Now, with the ultimate prop in my hand, my revenge campaign is primed to launch. That evening, Liam came home from work. After dinner, we settled on the couch for a movie, and he asked, Arya, why are you so cold lately? Ever since I saw the SD card footage, the sight of him turns my stomach. When he uses my pet name, I want to gag. Even on the same sofa, I kept at least a yard of distance between us. I answered flatly, we've been together years. You keep saying you love me, but I'm starting to think you only ever wanted to fool around. Something clicked. He stared, startled. Arya, are you saying? You were going to propose, weren't you? Since it's taking forever, let me speed the timetable. He crossed the gap into strides, sat beside me, and grabbed my hand. Honestly, these past days I've been planning a proposal, I swear. I slipped my hand free and slid away. How convenient. The moment I bring it up, you suddenly remember. Sure, you've been thinking about marriage, I continued. But your real motive is a far bigger score. He stared straight into my eyes, fighting to keep that devoted puppy look. Arya, the reason I kept quiet is I wanted to grind another year or 2. Once I'm really rooted here in Riverdale, I'll have the guts to deserve you. The Ek turned my stomach. His body was filthy, sure, but his soul was even dirtier. Pretty words, just a textbook retreat to advance move. He's the one dying to lock me down, yet he's pretending to step back for my sake. I refuse to play along. Time to force his hand. Liam, listen up. We've been together 5 years, but I'm no longer sure you're my forever. My family's already lining up blind dates. We can postpone the wedding, but you'd better show some attitude right now. Liam's jaw dropped. He'd never heard me mention arranged dates. Of course he hadn't. It was a bluff. My parents respect my choice. They basically accepted him. He swore instantly. Arya, let's get married immediately, right now, this second. Tomorrow we hit the clerk's office. The thought of life without you is shredding me. Ha ha ha, Liam, you're swallowed by your own melodrama. Old me would have lapped up that sugar. I continued, I've laid my cards on the table at home. No way I marry anyone else. Mom and Dad caved. Mom wants a grandkid yesterday. She said if you bring a 20 grand bride price, we've got a deal. His eyes bulged. 20,000. Didn't your mom always say dowry was optional? True, my parents did say, if the guy's flush, give what you like. If not, symbolic is fine. The 20 grand is the hoop I've set on fire and the bait. Don't look shocked. Mom calls it a gesture of sincerity. You pay 20, they add 10 for a car titled in your name, plus 50 in cash and a condo. The deed can carry Mom's name too. By now his grin was splitting his face. Arya, I swear I'll never let you down. Hold on. I've got one more condition. Say it's anything, I'll do it, he gushed. I don't want the standard hotel circus. I want a destination elopement, just us on the real wedding day. But Dad loves a crowd, so let's blow up the engagement banquet into a full-blown wedding feast. Fly in every relative and friend the night before. Put them up at the Grand, make it feel like the actual wedding. But we haven't shot wedding photos, he said. Tell you what, we stage everything now, then take real gown shots abroad during our elopement. I'll right now call my folks, ask them to chip in. He stepped aside and right now dialed his parents. His father's boom came through the handset. Are the Sterlings selling their daughter? 20 grand, why not rob a bank? In our county that buys you 3 brides. Is city pussy plated in gold? His mother chimed in, clucking at my skinny arms and perky but looked bad for birthing, claiming I'd never produce the prized grandson to carry the family name. Watching my face freeze, he forced a laugh, slipped into the bedroom, and shut the door. I lingered outside and heard him hiss, it's a risk-free deal, pure profit. That night I officially moved out. I told we right now ought to savor our final single days apart. He agreed with a strained smile, thinking I was punishing him for his parents' trash talk. Truth is, I didn't care. After haggling with his folks, he issued his own demand, a lavish hometown celebration, first local custom, parental face, the works. They'd book the best hotel in their county, bus in every villager to witness their golden boy landing a city heiress. I thought, the grander the better, every relative must attend, not one missing. Come watch the family circus. Let Dad bask in the spotlight. Perfect timing. I'd been wondering how to sell this to my parents. Now I didn't have to. I simply wouldn't tell them. As for Liam, I'd say my folks aren't up for traveling. He's not serious anyway, so he won't push. We set the date, the 8th of next month, 2 weeks away. I texted Hunter. The plan has entered its final phase. Speed things up on your end. He replied. Progress smooth. Everything under control. A week later, Hunter messaged, my end is done. Beneath it was a photo, his and Scarlett's divorce decree. I answered, 1 week left. He ground out, good. Time for that bitch to pay. Because of our fake separation, I rarely returned to the rented loft. Liam and Scarlett had gone wild, practically cohabiting. On nights he was sure I wouldn't drop by, she stayed over. Their chat logs had thinned out, proof they were mostly together. The few messages celebrated their scheme being half successful. Little do they know, their plan is half done. Mine is 1 heartbeat from the finish line. The wedding weekend arrived. I traveled to Liam's hometown with 2 people, my best friend at my side in plain sight, and a cousin in the shadows, unseen. Both are absolutely loyal. I've told them every detail of Liam's cheating and the trap he set. They cheered the revenge plot. On the night before, most of his relatives and old classmates rolled in. His parents greeted me with glacial nods, scanning me head to toe like merchandise on a slab. Sure. They saw the whole thing as a money-making venture, but they'd already sunk plenty into it up front. That's exactly why they couldn't stand the sight of me the next morning. The wedding marched forward on schedule. Since I'd refused to wear a wedding gown and vetoed any father gives the bride away theater, the MC today was reduced to a master of ceremonies role, stitching a few song and dance numbers between courses when they are felt right. I turned to Liam at my side, my stomach's killing me. I'm heading back up to the grand suite for a minute. He scrunched his brow. So much hassle, can't you use the restroom off the ballroom? And right now, supposed to hop on stage any second. Can't you hold it? I ignored him, shot him a look, and spun away. My best friend stepped in. Are you blind? Can't you see she's not feeling well, Arya? Wait upon coming. Liam froze for 2 beats. Arya, make it quick, okay? We slipped out of the hotel banquet hall. But instead of riding to the room, we ducked through a side exit. My cousin was already idling at the curb. We hopped in. The engine growled awake. Ding dash, what's up? Liam, Arya joined the group. QR code group join. Number 1314. I tapped in, still open. In seconds, 300 plus guests had flooded the chat. Fireworks of emojis and confetti scrolling non-stop. Every line was the same. Best wishes to the happy couple. I pictured the MC whipping them up. The more blessings you spam, the fatter the bride and groom's Venmo cash drop. Liam pinged again. Arya, I see you're in. Send a monster red envelope. Don't let my parents lose face, I answered. You got it right. Now is about to drop the biggest one ever. Your folks' pride is headed for the stratosphere. The chat quieted. Liam fired off 3 quick cash drops in a row. My friend grinned. Hey, I snagged $10. My cousin, watching someone else celebrate, looked like he'd personally lost 20. Coos? Help me grab one. Don't let strangers steal my luck. I smiled, slow and wide. Now the crowd was chanting, bride's turn, bride's turn. My grin stretched. Fine, Casey. I copied the text I'd pre-written in notes. A blow-by-blow account of how Liam had chased a married woman, cheated on me, and planned to hijack my dowry under cover of marriage. Right after, I posted the choicest photos of Scarlett and Liam tangled together. Finally, I uploaded a 3OMB dossier, every last chat log, every extra snapshot. Big enough envelope for you. I wasn't in the ballroom, but I could practically hear the hush descend before the place detonated into noiseless shrapnel. Sterling invisible bomb. Liam and his parents were suddenly wrapped in a bubble of side-eye and whispers. A rising tsunami of judgment. All that face they wanted still intact. Would they ever be able to lift their heads among friends and relatives again? Were they wailing, beating their chests, cursing the heavens in that silent, smokeless crater? My phone erupted, notifications stacked tighter than subway cars at rush hour. Unsurprisingly, Liam's calls topped the list. I knew blocking him was pointless. I just flipped the mute switch and tossed the handset aside. My friend rang the front desk on speaker. What on earth is going on over there? It's so loud I can't even nap. The clerk apologized profusely. We're so sorry. Ma'am, it's bizarre they booked a wedding, but it's playing like a funeral. The family's manners are non-existent. When the meal started, the groom's side flipped tables, cursed half the guests away. Someone fainted. Others started fighting. We've already called 911. The groom is slumped on the overturned food, pale as neon. His mom's makeup streaked down to her chin looks like a street corner beggar. And Scarlett, my cousin, asked. I pictured the script Hunter and I had rehearsed. He'd tell Scarlett they needed a quick divorce so he could buy another property under her name before the city's new purchase limits kicked in. To keep her calm, he'd transfer ownership of his ironworks chain to her. Even though they'd signed a prenup, once Jim's sat in her portfolio, she wouldn't suspect a thing. Cash, real estate, everything else would stay safely under Hunter's name. They'd signed the papers yesterday. Scarlett never blinked. I WhatsApped Hunter. Done. He shot back. Copy that. Time to bury the witch. I give it a week before the local news blares. Ironworks empire. Implodes. Queen bee owner can't cover rent, can't pay staff, membership fees stolen. Handcuffs looming. Let her swear she's the new owner who just took over. No members going to care, especially when they learn the couple divorced the day before. Smells like a shell game escape plan. Once I'm back in Guangzhou, I walk straight into the precinct house. Liam. Next time you want to see me, line up at the front desk and explain where you bought that roofie-spiked wine and how many other girls you served it to. As for the 20 grand bride price, consider it my PTSD invoice non-refundable. Thanks for listening to tonight's story. On a 1 to 10 scale, how would you rate it? If you liked the video, smash that like and share it with a friend. We're waiting for your hot takes in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more wild rides. See you next time.